What's up, everybody? I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers, bringing you guys your daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractor, and Atlas. Go ahead and check them out in the description to this video. They do awesome work, and they are linked there for you guys to go ahead and see what they do. So we did have storms yesterday through the south. You guys are pretty much anywhere east of the Mississippi Valley. You saw that. So we're going to check out what happened from yesterday. And then we've got Texas and New England today. That cold front is lingering through the coastal areas of both Texas and New England. So we got some storms for you guys in the future here. And then checking on Karl and the new disturbance that's formed in the Atlantic and talking some climate for you guys as well. But before we get into our weather, checking out our upcoming events, the only one of those right now is our OU versus Kansas tailgate, but that is a good one, guys. We got free food there, we got beer, we'll have the game on, we got cornhole, we got us at Hail Trays. So come out to the tailgate on October 15th and say hello to us. We usually get a decent crowd, so it's always a fun time rooting on OU or Kansas. If you're a Kansas fan, you're still welcome. And it should be a good time, so come out and see the OU versus Kansas tailgate. Then hopping into yesterday, so we actually have some storm reports on the board here, starting out in Wisconsin and working our way all the way down through the Mississippi Valley. Up through Wisconsin, there was quite a few tornadoes that spun up along the line, pushing into the Great Lakes. And with that, the Milwaukee area and the surrounding area through Kenosha all the way out towards Madison got to see a couple of tornadoes passing through. So loud day for them. And then things continued down through Kentucky all the way towards Louisiana, with a couple areas in particular seeing some large hail. The Tupelo area got up to golf ball size, and then just to the north of Alexandria, Louisiana, got up to 2-inch hailstones passing through the area. So definitely a louder day for our fall season into yesterday. And then today, that front is continuing to pass through New England, continuing to linger through Texas. And with that, we could get a couple more storms passing through. The rest of us are going to be pretty clear, but once we hop down into the Houston-Corpus Christi area, we're seeing some storms start to pop up. And with that, we'll continue to see some more intensity and some more coverage continuing through this afternoon and evening. Then up through New England, you got that front, pretty classic looking there with that line of storms that's starting to develop up through Pennsylvania and New York. Could see a couple of gusty winds and possibly a spin-up tornado along that line for you guys later on this afternoon. Right now, after the passage of that front, guys, it's still feeling like fall, but it's feeling even faller now. So 64 degrees in Springfield, only 66 in Oklahoma City for the feels like temperature. And then once we work our way down along the coast, a little bit warmer in the 80s, and then a little bit warmer along the East Coast as well in the mid 70s. But that was a powerful trough that passed through, so really brought those fall-like temperatures for us through most of the nation. Here's our temperature change in the last 24 hours. A lot of us in those deep blues after the passage of that cold front, so dropping 10, 15 degrees after yesterday and then today. So much cooler today than it was yesterday, so lots of instability, and that cold front is definitely packing a punch for us. Left most of us bone dry. Here we are for dew points. 56 degrees up in New England, 65 down in New Orleans, and those are really the only places with a solid chance to see some storms today, because there is a little bit of moisture and a little bit of instability left over ahead of that frontal system, but the rest of us cool and dry. So here's our instability for Texas. Up towards New England in the northeast, there's just not a lot of heating to get us a lot of lift for hail, but there is enough instability to get us some gusty winds along that line. Now down towards Texas, that's where we start to see a little bit more of that daytime heating and the humidity from that Gulf of Mexico. That could get us some updrafts capable of forming hail. You can see those nice warm colors here towards Corpus Christi around storm initiation time, 3:30 p.m. It's going to continue through the afternoon, and then there we are by 9. That should be when the storms kind of give their last effort to produce anything, and they've still got a little bit of instability before nightfall hits, and then you don't get as much of a good chance of seeing any storms after dark, and it gets a little cooler. So here we are on future radar. See those storms popping up there along the I-10 corridor and then just to the north of Corpus Christi. A couple of those could be hailers. And then we'll see more coverage and storms starting to ramp up a little bit as they move towards the Corpus Christi metro area. And then even creeping their way towards Houston, but not making their way quite into the city through the afternoon and evening hours. Then once by 9 p.m., there we are with our storms trying to, linger, but they're not going to succeed as the overnight hours kind of take over there. And then a quiet night for you guys along the Gulf Coast of Texas. Then up towards New England, you already see that line forming here on our current conditions, and it's going to continue. Here we are in only an hour, 1 p.m. That's going to continue tracking towards the East Coast with pretty much the same intensity as it's packing right now. We could see a couple gusts up to 60, and again, a couple of rotating storms along that line as it makes its run through Albany, through the New York City area. And then by 9 p.m., it should start to, this is 10 p.m. Eastern time, it should start to kind of fizzle out in terms of organization, and we should be seeing a lot of rumbles of thunder, heavy rain here and there, but in terms of overall severity of the storms, it should be dropping pretty quickly as, again, it kind of loses its organization. And then there we are through the overnight hours as it moves off the coast, and another quiet day for you guys into your Friday. So for hail, just including Texas, we've got a $1 to $1/2 size risk for you guys, and it's going to be pretty scattered. Not super cold upper air temperatures, so I don't want to put out anything larger than $1 to $1/2 because, it's not a great chance to see any freezing zones possible. But we could get up to, again, $1/2 for you guys through Corpus Christi, through Brownsville, and just to the south and west of Houston. Then for wind, I'm going to include Texas in that and include New England as well. So if you guys are in any of those risk areas, could see a chance to see winds, again, up to 60 miles an hour. A couple collapsing storms could get you some severe gusts through our Texas risk area there. And then up through New England, along that line, once again, could get some pretty solid straight line winds as well as potentially some tornadoes anywhere from Albany all the way down into Richmond and then the north part of North Carolina. Then for tomorrow, here's our future radar. I mean, you can see behind me there's just not a ton happening. That front has moved off the East Coast and it's making its way through the Atlantic. And the rest of us are staying pretty cool, dry, and fall-like. So enjoy the day off on your Friday, but we should have a second resurgence of that low pressure system trying to bring us some more storms for your Saturday, and we'll have more on that for tomorrow. But for now, nothing expected severe-wise for your Friday. For days 6 through 10 for next week, here's what we're expecting for our temperatures. A lot of those high elevations are used to seeing those cooler temperatures, and you're a little bit warmer than normal for this time of year. And then a lot of us through the south and the east who are used to those warmer temperatures are actually getting cooler than average for this time of year. So if you guys are along the East Coast, you got a pretty solid chance of seeing some cooler temperatures than you're used to for mid to late October. And then if you're anywhere through the Pacific Northwest, probably a little warmer than you're used to. We in Oklahoma and probably Dallas, I'm looking forward to a little bit of cooler weather after the summer we had. And then for precipitation, the only place that could see a little bit more than they're used to is the Southern California and desert Southwest area. The rest of us are pretty much looking like we're going to stay pretty dry for next week. So not great in terms of what we're looking for severe weather, but if you like fall, there you go. Then leaving you guys, last but not least, with our tropics. Making its way through the Yucatan, making its way down towards Mexico. We're used to kind of seeing them move up, but it's actually making its track southward towards the Mexico coast. And it's getting a little organization, but it's not really expected to pull itself together much before it makes landfall. So right now, 50-mile-an-hour winds, tropical storm force, and it's moving south-southeast very slowly at 5 miles an hour. It's already taken that south turn. And then once it tracks towards land and makes its way into landfall, should be around 40 miles an hour, so a very low-end tropical storm. But we're looking at some flash flooding issues through the area and potentially, 40-mile-an-hour winds. It's decent. So if you guys are through the area, just be aware that Karl is headed your way, and again, mostly could bring some flooding through the region. Then, behind Karl, we've actually got a second storm that's making its way through the Atlantic. So here we are. Not super visible on our radar here. It doesn't reach that far out, but that's okay. You can see it's not super organized right now. It's still kind of trying to get itself a little bit compact and a little bit more symmetrical before we can see any further development on it. So for the next 2 days, 0% chance. But then over the next 5, as it tracks west-northwestward, should be in a little bit more favorable conditions. So we could potentially see some development on that over the next 5 days. So something to watch for your tropics after Karl moves out of the way. So that's it for today. If you guys want to follow us, you can get us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Hit See First on Facebook so you never miss a live video. And hit the subscribe button on YouTube and the notification bell so you always catch our live forecasts and our live coverage. Then, if you guys want to give us a call, you can get us at 855-334-4245. You can also email us if you'd rather at info@hailtrace.com or check out hailtrace.com for more details. And we'll let you know what's going on with all your severe weather risks. But for now, I'm meteorologist Andrew Myers. Thanks for watching.